You're listening to the Rogers Sporting Goods Podcast with Patrick Fisher,
Chandler Smith,
and Josh from Outdoor Limits.
In this podcast, we'll touch on everything from gear to ducks to deer, turkey and fishing. From field to table, let's dive in. That's always my test on waders, is I put on a pair of waders, everybody, or it seems fine, and then I'm like, man, the real test is me sitting down, I'm like, oh, wow. I'm going to need a bigger size.
Yeah.
They got a little tight.
Well,
A little tight around my midsection.
I thought you were
I'm
talking
on
about
that.
packing
I'm on
a
that
big lunch.
snack
You're
diet.
talking about packing a big
Well,
lunch.
I have no problem eating, but
No, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, right.
yes, no, I get it. No, that too, yes. But anyways, yeah, whatever. Anybody get out this spring? Anybody do any? I did some turkey hunting, and I got the wife off. We've been skunked 7 years in a row, so we finally got her back on board. Thank gosh. I go a couple more years without getting her a turkey. I'd get in trouble.
It's tough because it's an expensive hobby, and when they don't see anything come out of it, they're like, "You're wasting your time out here." You're like, "Well, no, it's time
I'll
with
tell
God.
you what,
It's
I'm like,
creation.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's why I'm doing it. If you kill something, great. But they're like, "You're not killing it, so this is pointless."
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling you. Well, you must turkey hunt, or was the video I watched just a spoof?
We were attempting to, but it was when we got out there, it was an ammunition. It was an old ammunition facility, so they're like, "You don't touch this, don't do close to this. There's radioactive," and we were like, "Let's kind of wrap this up."
Well, let's go.
Yeah. So you don't want us to eat any of this that we kill?
We walk out, we're glowing.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
As long as there were some benefits to it,
Yeah.
like if it made you stronger.
Well, that'd be all right. Yeah. Do you got Jason? Do you do any turkey fishing?
I don't do turkey. We've got a place down on Timber-Loc Lake, so we fish every once in a while.
Jealous.
Yeah. It's we're right up on the James River, so when the bass start spawning, it gets pretty busy back there.
You take your little vacation down to Table Rock, and I've been a couple times, but we took a vacation there last year. My biggest bass I ever caught was down there. I was just messing around. We had a little like an Airbnb or whatever. I walked down by the dock, out back. Gosh dang.
Surprised you?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, we were just down there to vacation, go out on the boat, tubing or whatever. But of course, I had to bring a rod. So, fishing's a good time.
We went with a family, the Ollingers, and it was, I think it's like 9 kids packed in one house. Well, no, that was just 2 families. They have 2 other sets of families. I think we ended up having like 15 kids in one house. And I remember getting there late, and they were talking about, lake house. You pull up, you're like, I'm really tired, but like the boat is in the front drive on a trailer. So I'm like, that's interesting, but I guess they'll just pull it around back. And then you wake up tomorrow, the next day with the coffee, and sun's coming up, and you look back, and you're like, I just see woods. I don't see any lake.
There's
anywhere.
no water.
Like, we got to go down to the lake. I'm like, but this says it's a lake house.
Oh, yeah.
Technically,
was it down at Table Rock?
Yeah. But it's one of my favorite lakes in the world. It's so pretty.
It is.
Like carving through some of the water system it is pretty.
Carving through the trees to get down to the water, too.
Exactly.
Because, like,
I had 3 ticks. We had 3 ticks trying to put a boat in the water.
It's like getting dizzy, and then we were pulling a friend's boat, and I was so nervous. I mean, them tight little narrow roads,
no shoulders,
passing oh my gosh.
Well, from I thought you were talking about from Lyme's disease, from like the ticks that you got, like you're like
for real.
To get the boat in the water.
No, the lake itself's phenomenal, but when they say lake house or on the water, it might be like up the hill on the water.
Yeah. Either way, it's gorgeous.
But it's a great lake, yeah. It's a good time and clear. Great fishing, tubing.
We're just envious. We're envious.
We
Come
are.
down. You're welcome.
You're watching the tennis match of Well, we're saying back and forth, and
yeah.
we're just envious because it is such a beautiful lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anytime, you're not there and you just need some people to check it out.
You're welcome,
let us
man.
know.
Come on down.
Yeah.
Come on down. You're welcome.
We'll take it over. But yeah, so obviously everybody knows who I am. My name is Patrick. So welcome back to the Rogers podcast channel, and got some special guests in here today. We've been trying to work this one out for a while and figure out schedules and all that. But to my right, I've got Travis. And so I guess I should preface this. We're talking about Timber-Loc, which we'll dive into deeper. But so everybody knows everybody's name. So Travis, who helps with this product, and then to my left, Jason, and then all the way down to my left is Dustin, and you might recognize him as a former Super Bowl champion for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I guess we only do special teams players hating on here. We just long snappers, kickers. I mean, it is what it is. But and a left-footed.
Yeah.
Left-footed.
Specialist.
Yeah, right. Well, it's funny because me and my stepdad were talking about that, and he goes, "Man, he was great, and he was left-footed, so he'd kick that ball. Sometimes that gave him a little bit of advantage, because it come off a little bit different to them receivers, and they had to catch the ball. So I was like, yeah, I guess so.
We've come a long way.
They don't
from
see
the
that a lot.
20s, 30s, and 40s teachers trying to tie people's hands behind their back and make you right-handed. No, this is worked out for me.
Left-handed.
Worked out for me.
So. But this is great. It took us a while. We've been talking forever, Travis, and we'll do. Anyways, some close-ups of this, but really I wanted to get these guys here. I know we're in June right now, but I don't know when this will go out. We'll have to find a good time to put this out. And but for any big game enthusiasts, whitetail, obviously mostly around here. But as I'm looking on the side here, we get a lot of elk hunters through the store. I even see moose on there. And so what we're talking about today is a product that you're going to help mount, whatever game you're choosing, mule deer or bighorn sheep or whatever. So this is a great tool, which we'll dive into, that will help you secure that so you can put it on display and make sure it's not falling off, which I've had happen. So
not anymore.
You don't want to go,
baby.
You don't want to go on this $20,000 Alaskan moose hunt, shoot a moose of a lifetime, go home and hang it on the wall with a $5 thing you got at the hardware store, and now you're calling your taxidermist, can you fix this? And then it doesn't look right ever again. But so thanks guys for coming in.
Absolutely.
And get into a little bit of hunting. I'm sure we're all outdoor enthusiasts, and kind of from the get-go, kind of how this started. I don't know if I'd direct it to you, Travis, or whoever, but
absolutely.
you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you're up. So what's the obviously it's Timber-Loc. It's a mounting system, but where did the story of this come about? Were you sitting around and you're drinking your coffee, watching TV, and your animal fell off the wall, or what?
No, it was actually in 2010. I came home from work, and I had two whitetail kind of laying on the ground, and I'm like, what just happened? Kids didn't knock them down. The cat, dog, no idea. They were just on the ground, So with that, you had $1,000 to $1,200 worth of whitetail laying on the ground. Luckily, nothing was broken up. No ears, no noses, tines. So I'd finished out a little lower level for a specific office for myself, and I went to hang one of those mounts that had fallen down there. I was going to hang it up, and I hung it up, thought I had it hooked. Standing in front of it, I watched it go down, and luckily I caught it. And what I had done there is I hide that wraps around the back of the mount.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Yep.
the screw hooked on. It wasn't the mount itself.
Oh.
So with that, I'm like, I've got to find something better. So I look for, a month on end every day trying to figure out what's the solution. And then one day an idea was in my head and I put it on paper and, it was 100% from the first go.
Really?
I don't, honestly, I don't know how I got the idea. It was there. It came to me, put it on. And the nice thing is with this mounting system, it allows it to take all that cantilevered weight, throw it back to the wall. It slides down. And then you still have a little bit of adjustability. You give it a tap set, and it's solid as rock. I want to feel like I could do pull-ups off of it, but let's not go that far.
Let's not promote that.
Our wives could.
Let's not promote pull-ups on our mounts.
So divine intervention led to the falling prevention.
Yeah. You talk about the, and I'm sure anybody listening either has it's happened to them or knows someone. You come home, it's laying on the ground. Or while you're sitting there, it happens. But then you brought up one thing. I tell you what, the hide rolling over, I don't know how many times when I'm going to put up my deer mount, and I miss every time. I'm like, what is going on? And a lot of times I feel like it's hooked, and I never let go because I've had it happen. And I'll hold the bottom, and I'm like, well, it's hooked. So I'll kind of pull down a little bit, and it slips off because it's on that hide rolled over the back of the. So that actually happens quite a bit. We just redid our basement, had to move all of our heads around, and there's nothing more nerve-wracking than hanging your animals back up on the wall and going, man, I hope when I come down here tomorrow, they're still up there.
Yeah, that's the thing about it is, when you look at an animal, when I look at mine, I look at the phenomenal work that the taxidermist, created in front of me, making that look like a lifelike deer, turkey, whatever it may be. And, I want to preserve that because that's the memory that takes me back every time I look at it. For example, my first 150-inch whitetail. It's not about the score. It was a great whitetail. I'd never seen it before. Had the opportunity to take it, so I did. But it was the year my son was born in 2007, so I call it my Hayden buck.
Yeah.
So, it's a memory that I have.
That's a good
because
name.
I got to hunt one day that day. Or that year for whitetail. My son was a preemie, and there was a lot going on. So with that, I got to I maximized that one day, and that's the memory that I have when I look at the deer. I can see it coming out. I can see myself looking at it, gauging it, and then everything thereafter. But it was that one opportunity, and that's the memory, and that's what a lot of these hunters have, is that when they have their game on the wall or whatever, it takes them back to that exact spot, and it's preserving that memory. Another thing that we put in there is a die-cut sticker, so you can get your date, state, gross score, net score, hunting license, and tag number.
Okay.
So you can identify that buck, and years down the road, you have some memory and some recognition of exactly what it was and when it was. So kind of a hunting chronicle or log is kind of what I look at
I'm
it as.
with you on that. Every time I walk down and turn the corner into my basement, which most of them are my wives, but I was like, yeah, I remember the day, and it takes you right back there. What the day was, and was it cloudy or rainy? Were you in a ground blind? I mean, just the whole day comes back to you every time you see that. So, and we all, right? We want to put them on the wall, and whether it's a whitetail or a sheep or whatever, and we want to, keep that memory alive. And unfortunately, if they're not mounted correctly, which is what we're talking about here, that memory can fade because it's now broken, and either you don't get it fixed or for whatever reason, and now it's not on the wall and sitting in the garage, or whatever.
Absolutely.
So one thing I want to jump into here, and maybe Jason, you can tell us about this. So when and again, for everybody listening, depending on when you jumped in here, so we're talking about Timber-Loc. I love the front. Hunt it, mount it, secure it. So it's such a straightforward thing. it's an amazing product that we've got them in the store now, Rogers Sporting Goods, and you can't miss it. I've got a whole end cap full of them. So, but kind of take us through, we've got our animal. We went to the taxidermist. A lot of times they put the one you always see, that's got the, you figure out what slot, your screw's going to go in. And, but take us through the package. So we take it out. What do we need to do? What's it look like? And obviously we'll have Hayden, for everybody listening, we're going to have some video, a link to, I know you guys have a great video that people can see on the website.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched it a few times. So it really, it's a nice short video everybody can watch. But for everybody listening, we'll kind of describe, getting it from the taxidermist. What does someone need to do? Do we need to change something? Do we need to, whatever?
So my gift. I'm really blunt. I'm really upfront with people. So
I love it.
Fair warning.
I love it.
Travis is blushing a little bit. So the first thing you want to do is take that 99-cent hanger off.
Right. Yeah.
So like that thing's made for pictures. It's not made to hold something that's a couple $1,000s that represents your hunt at all. Then what you want to do is you want to take a 3.5-inch hole saw, drill a hole in the backer board. And then the Timber-Loc mounting plate is going to go right in there. It's got 4 screws. You drop that in, and then you're going to have a disc. What's it called, Travis?
The wall bracket.
Wall bracket. Thank you. Yeah.
But it's like a small, we'll call it a disc for anybody. It's super
Looks like
small.
a UFO.
Yep. Yeah.
You can call it that.
Right, yeah.
We hope you don't miss. It's not that. It's secured. You're going to do
Yes.
it every time
Yeah.
and preserve the time capsule.
Yeah.
We should just call it bullseye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you do is you have 2 screws, and then you put the mounting or the wall bracket. The bullseye, we'll call it from now on. It'll forever be known as. You put the bullseye on the stud, put 2 screws in, and you're done. You take the wall mount, the shoulder mount, you put it right over the top, and what that does is not only does it go into this triangle shape, kind of convex design, but when it goes down, when it goes into that triangle, then you can position it, you can pivot it just a little bit. So if it's not squared, you can angle it up, and then once you get it at the right angle, you just pop it right on top and it locks in.
Yeah. And it holds it. I like the holding it tight, because I don't, like I've done, like I'll get a 100-pound, anchor. And I'm not as much worried about it holding the weight that it says, but what I do get worried about is the pulling out. It's not because I'll get it hung up and I'm looking at it from the side and I can never get it flush. I feel like I'm always messing with the screws in too far, or I've got it too far out, and then we all see it and there's always a gap. Well, when there's a gap there, all that weight is pulling out away from the wall. So it's not you want that force up tight against the wall going straight down, not out and away over time.
Exactly. That's the whole point of this, is to make it simple, where there's somebody's hanging a whitetail or, a buffalo, moose, whatever. You want it to be flush to the wall. The goal, when it was designed, was flush mounting, take that weight, throw it back to the wall, and essentially make it look like the animal just stuck its head through the wall. So it keeps it nice and tight.
Right. Yeah.
Super
Yep.
clean look.
And everything's in here.
Yep.
Everything we need is in here. The only thing, I guess, so when that hole you're talking about cutting in the back of the
You need
mount.
a hole saw. Right.
So, and what size is that?
3.5-inch.
3.5
Yeah.
inch circular saw.
Yep.
And that's not going to hurt someone's mount in any way.
No, it's just going through that backer board, that
Backer board. So you don't have to go very far. You just need to give it the space it needs for
Right.
the bracket to go on.
Right, exactly.
So really we're talking, 4 screws for that, which it comes with, 2 screws for the deal. Let me ask you this, because everybody's, right, when you're designing your house, right, and you're looking and, we're rearranging, and pretty soon, 6 years down the road, I've got multiple mounts, and the wife says, I can only use this wall right here. what if I run out of studs? Right? Is
Yeah.
that the big question?
Yeah, that's the big
I mean,
one.
people probably ask.
Yeah, we always recommend, just for safety wise and just the product itself, to find a stud. If you know there's
You
a
got
stud.
drywall anchors.
Yeah, you can do that. There's real no guarantee on that because you're holding in drywall. So
Right.
our biggest thing is, if you're going to put it up, try to find a stud
Yes.
and give your mount the best opportunity to stay where it needs to
If
be.
you had to do a drywall anchor,
If you can,
which I've done,
if you're killing a deer that doesn't go in a stud, you're
Yeah.
not killing a big enough deer. That's
Right,
what I would tell
yeah.
that person.
I've killed
Kill
a few of
bigger
those.
deer.
Dustin,
Kill
yeah.
bigger deer and space them out on the studs. I'm
Yeah.
just going to be fully
Yeah.
honest.
That's what
Just
I
like
usually
Jason
find
do.
a
said.
bigger wall.
And what I would say is what we're running into a lot of is we have a lot of kids that are killing their first buck. Now we have a product they can hang their first buck. Because it's
Yeah.
a port system. A kid can find it, push it down, lock it in.
Right.
So before it's like, I'm a parent, I'm going to hang this for my kid. But now a kid can do that. It's easy.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
simple.
Well, that's what I like you brought up, because I'm telling you, the old school mounts, I've been doing it since I was 16, helping dad. And every time I try to hang a mount, I know it sounds, people probably going to laugh. I don't understand how he can't hang a mount, but
No, everybody's been through this situation.
don't lie to yourself. When you go to hang a mount, you're trying to see, did I get the screw out? And this system makes it really simple.
Well,
we
wouldn't have this sitting on your table
No,
right
no,
now
no.
if a lot of people hadn't done this
Yeah.
to their mounts,
Yeah.
messed them up. And now kids can hang them without, a parent can take a picture of their kid hanging this.
Yeah.
That's how good it is.
Yes, exactly. I like that. You got to have
Great
from
tagline.
the field to the wall,
Well, I'm just saying.
the
it's just-
kid getting it put up there.
beforehand, it was like, all right, see, Sally, you put your hands up there like you hung it. No,
Like you
she
put
can
it
do
up. Yeah, she
Yeah,
can.
she can.
Yes. Yep. And is this, I know we'll talk about that video. So, what was the steps, Travis? So you come up with the idea. How does this come about? Do you just start, you're calling your buddies like, hey, I got something here, or
Yeah,
and then
so-
what's the steps you go to, let's get this thing in action?
Yeah, it's kind of multi-layered when you look back now at what was going on. I had no idea. I'd never patented a product. So first thing I did is I went out and, did the provisional patent. It gives you about a year to decide if you want to do something. With that, I had a prototype built shortly after that. The prototype was spot on, and I'm like, it really blew me away that it was 100% from the first go, from the drawing that I turned in. From there, I took it up to the Iowa Deer Classic, ran it through, the Iowa Deer Classic for a couple days. I'd watch people come by, take it on, take it off, take it on, put it back, take it off, put it back on. You could just see the wheel spinning. They're like, why isn't this out? I'm like, I don't know. It's relatively simple. It makes sense, and it's going to solve all those issues, and it's going to give you the best look out there to hold your mount. So from there, about 10, 11 months later, I turned in for a full patent. 18 months later, I was able to get the full patent, and, here we are today, in a sense.
Yeah.
And then, I took it as far as I could take it, bringing on Dustin and Jason. Just, I can't thank them enough to show my love and, help me get it to where we're at today.
Right.
So.
And we had, so what was the difference? We had the first ones we got at the store, and then we switched over to the new packaging now that you see. Was there a difference between those two?
Yeah, there was a difference. When I first started it, it was CNC machined out of a solid block of aluminum. With that, prices of aluminum just skyrocketed. Production times, lead times, everything that was involved in it, just it was a kind of a convoluted process that there was no set manufacturing as far as what it's going to cost me when I do another run versus the old run. And then when Dustin came on, we talked about if we wanted to streamline this and have mass production, what do we need to do? Luckily, he knew somebody that was in the plastics industry, and that turned into now injection molding this product, and we've ran the analytics to hold clear up to 100 pounds on that.
Yeah, Polysource 115. You got it outside.
So we can,
Wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we're not worried about the weight of this.
Nothing that they want to hold. Nothing.
No.
No animal. Elk, moose. Nothing. Those are
I
the
see that
heaviest
moose on there.
bone
but-
structure.
Yep. So you guys tested it, the strength. Obviously, make sure everything's good so people don't have to be nervous.
In Lewisburg, there is a barbell that has 115 pounds shooting through the ear of a metal deer, and it's sitting there. It is tested.
I like
We'll
it.
get you the picture for the
I
podcast.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Does anybody got a moose at home?
No, I'd
with
love
one
to.
of these?
It's a bucket
We need
list.
to yeah. Is that your bucket list?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what's your go-to bucket list hunt?
well,
So you brought it up.
Well, this year, after 6 years, I've been able to finally draw a Colorado mule deer. I've seen
Okay.
seen a lot of nice, just awesome deer when we're out in Colorado elk hunting every year, and to be able to draw that mule deer tag.
Yeah.
I'm starting on my workout program early because going from here to 10,000 feet and up, it's tough.
Start getting some rucks in.
Yeah. So with that, that's really my first bucket list is a mule deer.
Yeah.
We put in for a group mule deer in Kansas, and then, I'd love to go Alaska, Canada,
Yeah.
whatever. Try to do a moose hunt at some
Yeah.
point in time, just
Yeah.
for the scenery itself, whether
Is
you
the
get
co-
one or not.
Is the Colorado one you're doing? Are you going to an outfitter, or are you guys going to do like a DIY?
No, it's a do it yourself.
Yeah.
My buddy's family's been going out there. I don't know. It was either late 60s, late 70s to a certain area, and they set up the wall tents, everything, and
Nice.
just do it right. And then,
Yeah.
we've been going out. I think it was 89 when my buddy first went out there. His dad passed away. He never got to go with him, but I remember being in grade school and junior high, and he's like, yeah, my dad's out elk hunting in Colorado. They're coming back through Colby. They're pushing snow with the old F-250 coming back.
Right.
And, try to relive those old times, but you get out there and I don't know. It's do it yourself. Everything's difficult, and we just like that
You
challenge.
need to test yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Some days you're out there and you're just like, and this is what I chose to do for
What did
vacation.
I've been here 3 days now. I haven't heard anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Freezing. I grew up, and every time I saw like an Alaskan moose hunt or whatever, and they're going up the river and like an archery hunt, and this giant animal just standing there 10 yards from
Yeah.
you or whatever, I'm like, man, that would be awesome. That
Amazing.
would be my top. I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, I'm not picky. I get out there and hunt, but that would be cool. A different one for me, and it's some people are totally on one side, but I'd really like to go to Africa, and I don't even know if I'd have to hunt, but man, I'd really like to get over there and just check it out and see. It's totally different. Even if I don't know. People say that, man, if you like to hunt, once you go over there and you get to see, it's just crazy. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to save up for that one. I had to pinch some pennies for that. Hey, you get something you need a mount from over there. I know there's no African animals on here, but
No.
if it's holding a moose,
We put the heaviest stuff on there.
you are good to go.
Yeah.
So
Hang a
if
giraffe,
you get
hang a
that
lion.
kudu,
Cape buffalo, whatever.
yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, an African plains game probably going to have the same hide
Sure,
thickness
yeah.
as a whitetail. So you just use a standard mount. If it's anything bigger and it's got a thicker hide, we've got the shims in there or spacers so you can offset that wall bracket so it'll accommodate up to a moose, buffalo, anything, like a antelope that's got a thicker hide, thicker hair system. You're able to, customize to exactly how tight you want it to fit. So, but it was
Yeah, you'll be good to go.
it was probably about 3 years ago. It really kind of led me to, get more involved with Dustin and Jason. But one guy, he said, I've got 15 mounts coming from Africa. I want 15 mounts. What's it going to take? I'm like, well, I'm kind of waiting for aluminum to adjust itself a little bit before I do another run. And he's like, whatever they are, I'll pay for them. He's like, I want that mount on
Well,
my
yeah, you
animals.
definitely. We talk about a whitetail falling off the wall. You don't want your Cape Buffalo falling off the wall.
Yeah.
And it breaks.
No, it's like Jason said. Like
Yeah.
You have several $1,000s in these
Yeah.
animals. You don't want it to
Yeah.
fall. $60 is nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Is obviously we can you can go to the Timber-Loc's website and which we talked about the video. So that video really shows exactly how to do this. If you're ever in the Liberty area and you're by Rogers Sporting Goods, you can find them there. But do you guys have other places? If people need to find them somewhere, or
Yeah, Jason's got a good handle on that. He's pretty much runs all
where
that.
are we sending people? Obviously, you want to come to Rogers Sporting Goods and grab one of these, but or the Timber-Loc website. But are they in some other stores if people are around some areas?
Yeah, they are. So we're in pretty much, I think we're in most Shields at this point.
Okay.
Bass Pro should start landing here in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then on Amazon, you can find them there. I'm curious, a question for everybody here. What would be the heaviest mount that somebody would have?
Man, I'm trying to think of a.
Elk or moose, right?
Man, a moose has got to be pretty big, especially one of them giant ones and 60-inch wide. I don't know, a grizzly bear.
Jason doesn't ask a question unless he knows the
You
answer.
know the answer?
No, no, I don't. Like
Oh,
in my
okay.
head, I'm thinking an
I was like,
elephant,
he's
but I feel
tricking
kind of
us.
stupid even
I was
mentioning
going to
that.
say elephant too because of the tusk, but I'm thinking like
Yeah.
he's got to know. It's got to because me and Travis talk about it all the time. And we're thinking moose elk, we're good. What is it? It's got to be that.
Either probably a moose or a Cape Buffalo. You look at some of the older stuff. By far, I'm not a taxidermist, and I don't claim to be, and I don't even deal with that. I'm just after they do their work. But looking back at some stuff on the internet, I've seen some right at 100 on maybe some of the older moose mounts and stuff like that, because I think the forms or the mannequins they used were different material. It wasn't the foam injection or whatever you want to call it,
that's a
high density
good-
foam. So I think that's what made some of those mounts heavier. But if you're just looking at hide and horns or antlers, probably a moose, maybe even a Cape Buffalo, just because of the mass.
That makes sense. The materials inside might have changed.
Well, you would
Yeah.
just throw two of our product.
Look
lock it
what's
in,
up
and
top.
Tornado.
My picture is up at the top when you Google it.
Oh,
I typed in heaviest shoulder mount. Boom.
Yeah, that's
Is that a
Jason,
domain
right there.
name thing that you got going on now?
Did you
Searches everything.
Did you contact Amazon?
No,
Yeah.
I'm a
So
nerd.
good.
I'm a nerd. So the reason I ask
Good hire, Travis.
so
And there's
I got lucky with
There's
it.
the link.
yeah. So the reason I ask is for anybody listening, my ask would be reach out to us, social media, Timber Creek Outdoors, timbercreek.com, contact us. What I'd like to do is I'd like to find 10, 15 people that have heavy shoulder mounts. These create amazing testimonials for us. So from our standpoint,
Yes.
we would love to be able to give a gift to you guys for these. We're going to limit it probably 10, 15. The only ask is that you hang it and then you give us honest feedback and honest testimonials. The feedback that we're getting from Amazon customers that are purchasing it in stores as well as on our website, that's the hardest thing about this product is telling people what it does.
Yeah.
And I laugh at Travis. The picture of this is actually down at the cabin. Like Travis and I spent 3 days like trying to understand like how, and he finally got frustrated because I kept saying like we need to tell people what does this thing do. Like it's like the design, everything else, but what does it do? And he got frustrated. He said it just makes the deer look like it pops its head out the wall and it never falls off. I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's perfect.
simple. Well, we do have. We've talked about this. So we have our whitetail weekend at Rogers Sporting Goods coming up August 26th. So it's a big event. We've done it a few years now, and it just keeps growing. So one thing we're definitely going to do, because Travis got us some of these mounts. I don't know how I'm going to go about doing it, but if you're listening and you are there that day, we will be giving some of these away to some customers. So we've got some to give away that day for our whitetail weekend, and hopefully we'll try to do something. I'll get with you guys. So that's going to be a great day for people to to see this product. We'll try to have something where people can see how it works that day in person.
Yeah.
There's going to be hundreds of deer mounts that come through that day too.
Yep.
Because we've got a big deer scoring event, and this will be our third year in a row now doing it, and each year it gets bigger.
Nice.
And these mounts that come through there are just nasty. These guys are bringing in just, I don't even know where they find these deer, but
not
so
anymore.
it's just like
Not anymore.
craziness.
I can imagine.
But we'll have these available for sure. We will make sure we're chocked full of these that day. So all those mounts coming in, I'm gonna be looking at the back of them going, yeah, we're gonna need to get that switched
And what's
out.
the date again? I missed that.
August 26th.
August 26th.
So yeah,
Got it.
yeah. So back in the day for you, fall was probably tough for you getting,
It was
football kind of put the damper on.
It was really
your
tough.
hunting
But
season.
the cool part about it is how I ended up meeting Travis. Is
Okay.
because I said, if I'm going to hunt, it's got to be pretty close. Because I also had 5 kids, which is my handicap in golf is 5 kids.
Okay.
It's not a 5. And I was like, I have to have ground close because I need to be able to hunt and get back up
Right.
to Overland Park in like a timely manner, like as close as I can to dinner as possible,
Yeah.
or put it helping kids down.
Right.
If they don't come back with a kill, you're putting the kids down.
Yeah.
So I ran into him at a couple things like a Wild Turkey Federation stuff, like all kinds of stuff, and we just kept talking about actually his product, and that's how Polysource and Grant John came about, and so really the hunting part led me to our friendship.
Yeah. Did you growing up was hunting like anybody else? Was it just something your family did?
It was
Getting
fishing
in fishing.
because I'm from Tennessee. It's like the Tennessee River coming through there,
Yeah.
Lake Loudon, like Norris Lake. Everybody's fishing. So like my
Everybody's-
fondest outdoor memories was my grandfather, Lester, which we called Blester because he would embellish every hunting or fishing story.
Yeah.
And he was a hunter.
Uh-huh.
But his big deal was fishing because it was a little
Okay.
bit easier, and because we had no patience as kids.
Yeah.
He was like the fishing thing. He knew all the hot spots. I mean, people would literally follow his boat
Yeah.
around. Like I've been around, and have you been with DJ Kirby?
Not yet.
Crappy Kirby.
No.
All right, we have to do that because, and that's maybe a plug for Crappy Kirby, as they say in the South.
I gotcha.
Great dude, but he reminds me of my granddad because anywhere my granddad trolled, people would literally like follow his boat in Knoxville where it was and be like, "Hey, Lester, we bought you this thing." People bring him like preserves, like jellies, and
Yeah.
like this is from my wife or whatever, and they would just like flag where he was fishing. The same thing happens to DJ Kirby.
While they're pulling up next to him, they're pinning his location.
I saw Lester this morning. We got to get over there. Spice
We gotta get over there. Yeah. Yeah, fishing's definitely, that was something. One, it's just, a little bit easier to get into as kids. I think when I started taking some kids out, I lose my patience. You don't get a fish when you're the parent. It's a lot of
Different experience.
rigging lines,
taking
and
off.
doing,
Yeah,
it's all the
But,
things.
that was probably my earliest memories was fishing too, and then. As you get a little bit older, it was a lot of sitting in the ground blind or whatever. You're not hunting, but you're out there experiencing it.
You're learning it.
Well,
Yeah.
and Travis shared that that memory with ownership earlier about how he remembered the first like Rogers like outbuildings. My first experience in a Rogers was Ryan Suckup and Thomas Gafford.
Yeah.
On Thursdays, we would leave work at Arrowhead and come up here and like shop for stuff because during the week we could not like we had no time.
Right.
And Friday afternoon, we got out of work, around like 12 o'clock, and from the stadium, it was like 43 minutes to where Travis lived.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to tell everybody that. But down 69 Highway, Lewisburg, and
Yep.
we'd get out. We'd be in a tree stand within about an hour and 5 minutes from Arrowhead. So we're like, this is perfect.
Like have the stuff ready.
Yeah, so Thursdays, Rogers, get all of our stuff, and then straight
You
down
were
69
out.
after work on
Yeah,
Friday in a deer
on
stand.
Friday, yeah.
Ready to
But
go.
a lot of limited time.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
limited time, but
Yeah.
you made it work. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
you made it work.
all
yeah.
we could do.
Andy give you a couple extra days off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we would never tell him. He's like, "You're going to get up how high in a tree to do so? That sounds dangerous." Like,
Yeah, so that's
we
Andy,
do that.
Andy Reid up there in a 20-foot stand.
and Big Red would be like, "Well, yeah, just don't do that during football season." You're like, "So that means never."
Pretty much.
As long as
That
I
means
play,
never.
because that's
See.
the fall.
Yeah.
Except for the bye week, you're like, "No, that's still technically during the football season." Like, we're not
Yeah.
going to get into it.
We'll just sit in a ground blind.
Exactly. Oh, we did more turkey hunting than anything.
Did you?
Because of that.
Yeah.
We would all get in stands. We're like, because then it became Anthony Sherman, Frank Zombo,
Right.
and then the quarterbacks. But,
Yep.
wait, your land's that close? I'd love to hunt. I haven't hunted in a while. And you're like, I'm not having quarterbacks out here up in deer stands.
Yeah, let's
It's
just.
not a good idea.
Yeah.
Not a
I
good
don't
idea.
get in trouble for this. That's funny. Winchester was saying he's got a place out there now. I don't know
He's
if you-
223rd and Flum. I would give you his whole address, everybody, but
Yeah, where-
go out and visit him. He's actually putting out. Me and Cannon. My Cannon, my son Cannon, my 9-year-old. He wants ducks and chicken. Like, the whole
Oh,
9 yard.
yeah.
So Winchester just put a big like coop in. Actually, he didn't do it. He's gonna tell you he did. He's a liar. It was Mark Carlson. That's who did it. All of his work, and he's a fantastic contractor. He builds basements and takes roofs off of houses and stuff, and chicken coops now.
And apparently chicken coops.
For James Winchester.
Yeah, we're doing.
Yeah. That's a
chicken coops.
great dude.
Oh my gosh, he went out and got a turkey out in. Was it Tennessee or Kentucky?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Well, it might have been
arrowed a turkey this spring.
The interesting thing about that is they were exploring caves. It might have been Tennessee for the turkey, but he was exploring caves in Kentucky, and they were finding a lot of like Indian artifacts and like early coinage from the late like 1800s,
Yeah, I can't remember.
like barter
where.
coins. It's pretty crazy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He's into some hunting, and Emily lets him go. She's a
Yeah.
awesome.
His
person,
little
too.
boy's into it now.
Jace.
Gosh dang.
Dude, he's into everything. We have 4 boys, and we just give all the anything that we don't.
You just
have or
start like,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes James is like, "There's tags on this stuff." I'm like, "It's for Jace, man."
Perfect. He'll think it's a gift. Got tags on it and everything. And you probably, Jason, obviously, I'm guessing you grew up hunting, fishing, or
I did. So
Yeah.
my family's out from northwestern Kansas, Clayton, Kansas, where my
Okay.
dad's from. We go back there. Mostly whitetail
Yeah.
is what we shoot. My son's first whitetail was a 13-point out on Grandpa's land. A monster
Gosh,
deer.
dang.
We're sitting there at sunrise, and they're kind of milling about, and it's Elliot's first. He's sitting there with his 243, and he nudges me. He goes, "Dad, should I shoot him?" And this deer pops his head up, and it's about this big. And I said, "You better do it before I do."
yeah, you don't have much longer before it goes down.
You know when I said that we were going to let you shoot today, you better do it quick, yeah.
You better do it
Because
quick.
I'm getting itchy now.
I remember my first. Most people remember theirs, but yeah, mine was not that. I'm sitting in between Dad's lap, and obviously it's first thing that comes out, type of thing. And so, first deer walks out, and pew, shoot, and what we thought was a doe was a button buck, and walk over there, and it's one of them just like lap dogs, you pick it up by its back feet, and
Yeah.
you know, walk it back to the truck. But I was excited. I mean, at the time, you know, I was like, yeah.
That sounds like
know,
a standard Frank Zombo
sounded
story.
like I shot a monster, but, you know, it was like a oversized cat.
Yeah, it's a standard Frank Zombo story.
Yeah.
This thing is huge. Just shot it, track it down, blood, spike buck.
Yeah.
Spike.
We do. You have
Frank.
readers on?
I'll tell you what, Patrick. I'll share the
good
picture
stuff.
with you because it was the first deer.
That
It just-
is incredible.
right there. It was right
See,
there.
that'll spoil you though too.
Yep.
Yeah, you get spoiled. I see like, you know, young kids and it's awesome and they shoot these giants and you're like,
Well, just
Man.
like his offer of when people come in and tell your story, we'll give you a free mount and whatever they cap it to, is they try to track down like like state records and stuff like that and say,
Yeah.
hey, here's our product. Just
Yeah.
give us a little testimonial.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about these two
Yeah.
guys.
that's right.
I say no.
See, I need to let
Straight profits. No, I'm kidding.
I need to let
think it's great.
Dustin know. We had Dustin in here from Dustin Huff. He's got the new #1 world record typical in the United States.
Oh, wow.
#2 in the world.
Number 1 name in the world and number 2 in the world. That's cool. I
Number
like that.
You're
Yeah.
partial. You're
I'm partial
Yeah,
for-
slightly.
out of
For the name.
Indiana. He got that last year with the crossbow.
Wow.
#1, #2 typical in the world. He was just like an inch shy of Milo Hansen's
God.
record.
Wow.
And then, but he broke Jim Jordan's 108-year-old record for the United States.
Goodness gracious.
But Dustin, I'm telling you, you don't want that thing falling off the wall.
No.
No, this is good stuff. We obviously were. Gosh dang. Well, people are already starting to come in pre-planning their elk trips.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed that a little bit. You know, they start getting that bug. 'Cause they start heading out. They
Yeah.
do some August hunts, you know.
Yeah, it
Guys
starts
start
early.
going out muley hunting or, you know. So it's, I mean, it seems far off, but it's really not. So, you know, right around the corner. Or if you've got that mount, you know, at home and you're listening to this or you're having trouble or maybe you've never put it up because you're always afraid to do it. You know,
Yeah.
you guys have found that solution to making sure that it's, you know, easy to hang up. Everything's right here, and it's going to hold it. The one thing we talked about, and you'll see this on the box, but obviously, you know, we talked about putting it in not on a stud, if that's something you want to do, but that, you know, obviously in a stud is what we're guaranteeing here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, I mean, and I've put them in, you know, the drywall anchors and stuff. But obviously, you know, we recommend you
Killing
put
a
it
better,
in that
killing
stud.
a bigger
So
deer.
that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
no, I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's just like jumping from aluminum to plastic. We wanted to
Yeah.
be mindful about the plastic industry.
Well, sure,
too.
yeah.
So, and we want to be just as mindful with people. Like, let it walk, let it mature, let it get big, so younger kids can kill a bigger deer.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Yeah, save them for me.
Yeah, let them walk on the planet a little bit longer.
Yeah, and I'll take care of it for you. But we've got them at the store in hunting. I got an end cap full of them. We talked about the whitetail weekend, August 26th. It's going to be a big day. There'll be food and deer scoring and all that. But we will be giving away some of these for that day. So we'll do some drawings for that. Jason talked about, you know, if you've got that mount at home, you know, we want to, you know, hashtag it Timber-Loc and, you know, send it in and let them see, you know, especially if you got that giant moose on your wall, that'd be cool to see, or a bighorn sheep or a muley or whatever, any animal. We want to see these put on African animals too. I want some pictures in that.
I want an elephant.
Jason to take that.
Yeah, an elephant. I was just thinking, like, when you were painting a picture of it, I was just picturing this guy that comes back from work, he's drinking a bourbon, and he's looking at this elk or whatever's in the wall, and he's pulled a grand piano out in the middle of the space so you don't want to, like, crash on it.
Uh-huh.
use our product and push the piano.
Push the piano back.
Like, you're good to go, brother. You're good.
You just created more room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've opened that area up. So
Timber-Loc unlocks your whole room.
yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Just saying.
Unlock the floor space.
Yeah, let your kid hang its own deer.
Yeah, it's super simple though, Travis.
Yeah, that's
But you've taken something that needed to be done, right?
yeah, absolutely.
It's just wild that it's just the simplicity of it. This is not an intricate, like, oh man, But
Yeah.
here we are.
I just wanted to. The ease of use was the biggest thing, and make sure that when you put it up on the wall, you get that positive connection that, hey, I can let go of this because I know it fit in that the wall bracket, fit in the mounting plate itself. You felt it slide down. You give it a tap set, you're good to go. And kind of one just clarifying statement on that. That's for pretty much everything that's a flat backed taxidermy mount, shoulder mount. So a lot of these pedestal mounts, there's some products out there that would probably be better suited for those. I want
the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Obvious. Yes.
some of those, I guess, in the market space that we're in, you've got full range hanging systems that do a nice job, skull hooker on a lot of those, but a lot of those require a specialized mount to keep those from twisting and turning. And these are going to be for the millions of mounts that are already out on the wall that are more of the old school, straight flat back.
They got the picture hanger bracket
yeah.
on the back. That's exactly what it is. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, so
Yep.
that's kind of the market that we're looking at. Maybe down the road we're going to look at something more specialized for trying to solve that problem for the pedestal mounts where they're carved out and there's only a little section and they all want to twist and turn. But for right now, this is our main focus because there's millions of mounts out there and people are still doing standard taxidermy mounts every day. So
Yeah. Yeah.
This is second generation. We made that move from aluminum to plastic so we could put it in more people's hands.
Yeah.
And because there was definitely a need there, and so it was more of a, hey, cost wise, we can help this out. This is not a lot of money, and move in to have more people that kind of benefit from that product.
Yep. Yeah, we've got them at the store. I think they're $59.99, I believe. And when you think about it, that's crumbs. I mean, that's,
yeah,
you know what I mean, for what we're talking about here.
yeah. I like,
Some of these mounts now, the shoulder mounts, like anything in the economy, the prices are going up. And when you're going to a top of the line taxidermist, and they're going to charge you, I mean, I've seen some shoulder mounts $700-800 just for a whitetail. So $60,
yeah.
and you're going to secure that to the wall for a lifetime.
Yeah, I look at it like this. It's about 10% of the cost of the mount if you're at a $600.
Yeah.
$600 mount. But the big picture is, what did it really cost that hunter to get it to the point that they're ready to put it on the wall?
It's the cheapest part of the whole hunt.
Yeah, I look
Right
at
here.
it. If you got any game cameras, if you've leasing any ground, farming any ground, drive time.
Yep.
If you're doing
Yeah.
out-of-state hunt, tags and fees for everybody. So it's just
Yep.
it's a drop in the bucket compared to what you
Right.
you look at a deer on the wall.
Well, yeah.
it's $600 to get it from my taxidermist,
Yep.
but it really was quite a bit more.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good stuff. So again, you can find them at Rogers Sporting Goods at the store. Obviously, you can find them at Timber-Loc's website, and you can check out some of their social media stuff. Check out the video they have on Timber-Loc. It'll show you exactly what we're talking about. Make sure you join us for our Whitetail Weekend. Get your hands on some of these. Man, this is good stuff. And hunting will be here soon. And hopefully I'll have to buy a handful of these because I've got some deer to put up on the wall. So, but yeah, this has been great. And I know we've talked about it for a while and trying to get you in here. And so anybody listening out there, make sure you check it out. And, you can hashtag it Timber-Loc and send us your pictures of using it. And who knows? I might just send you one of these out to you. You never know. One of them are going to show up on your front doorstep. So, thank you guys for coming in, and it's been fun, and enjoy the summer. Enjoy the fishing down at Table Rock. You
Come
know
on
what I
down,
mean?
man.
That's what
Anytime.
I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just gonna show up on his doorstep. So we'll do a little fishing, and it'll be good stuff, guys. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
make sure everybody listening, check us out on our Roger Sporting Goods YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, wherever you want to find your podcast, Spotify, all that stuff. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the other stuff Hayden's got us on. TikTok. And, leave some comments, give us some questions, and until next time, we'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's time for me